Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies. Grab your favorite bevy, pull up a chair, and enjoy the ride. Hey, welcome to Backyards and Bevvies today. This is the afternoon version today, and I have my good friend here, Cal Long. Hey.
What's up?
Dude, haven't seen you in a while for one, but for two, actually no, that's a lie. I saw you the other day.
That's true. We had
but
lunch.
for like, I didn't have lunch. My little guy started getting crazy. But Cal, folks, everybody, little round of applause.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude,
This is exciting.
This is. I have always been very intrigued by your athleticism.
Thank you.
Bringing you out here was more than just your good looks on my show to get ratings up.
It's the fall light, or this afternoon lighting.
I definitely was like, oh man, Cal would be great. He would look good on camera. He's going to up my views.
Now this GoPro's making me nervous.
Everybody that's listening is going, well, I can't see him.
Right.
But Cal and I met on tour, like, I'm going to say 70% of the people that are going to be on the show, probably maybe even 90% of the show. But I will give this little tidbit out. When we met, though, you had already been back out on this tour that I hadn't been on.
Correct.
And all the guys were like, wait till you meet Cal. You're going to love him. And
that was the exact same way on my end before meeting you.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, like I want to see him. So then I did some stalking.
Ooh.
You know, like
Insta creep.
I think it was a face in a book. It was you guys in a pool, and I was like, who's this other guy with all these tattoos and a six-pack? I said, wait, hold on a second here. I'm the one with tattoos. I already have to deal with another. The drum tech has enough tattoos as it is, and here's the guy with 2 full sleeves and... Wait,
I still can't catch up to you though. It'll take me a long time.
I think a lot of people have the problem with tattoos.
A lot of income.
I'm gonna say I have been very lucky on some of the accounts. I have started to pay. I think I've put a few tattoo artists like kids through school. So
I'm sure.
I think they give me like a nice like here's a friendship fee kind of every once in a while. But I definitely am in like probably the 5 digits.
That's so funny.
No, but dude, it's honestly it's
a investment in something you love.
Well, you have gotten more since we've met, so
very true.
I will say that you have started to collect.
I went on a hot streak. For like a tattoo hot streak. For like, is that a thing? It is now. For like 3 years, dude. I just couldn't stop.
Is that like? Wait, hold on. I'm thinking of that one movie where he's like, when you go to Vegas and you're on a heater.
On a heater, you never give up on a heater. Never walk away from a heater. Yeah.
Same idea. Like,
same idea.
You started. You got hot.
Found a good artist. And just stayed with him. Ideas kept popping.
That's truly it.
I mean, that was a part of it. He was a cool guy. Connected with him. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Tour guy? Did you meet him on tour?
Ryan Thomas, Black 13, little shout out.
Nice. There you go.
Good dude.
I went there one time.
Recommend.
And they told me they didn't do faces, neck, and hands.
It's possible.
So then I went to prison and got the rest of my time.
How some artists do have weird little like, I'm not doing that, or I won't do, That's okay.
Yeah, a beautiful shop though.
Yeah. They moved over here.
What?
Off Dickerson Pike.
No,
well, not over here, but
okay. Yeah, like in Nashville. That's why you pointed. He said
they got the old brick and mortar, the old standalone.
Ah, nice. Yeah, because they were in that downtown building-ish thing.
Yeah.
It's even going down there now to me is crazy because like, seeing Hart and Huntington is crazy.
Yes.
Because it's like a celebrity one, it's really pretty in there and stuff. Good on Carrie Hart, by the way, too. Do you remember
Billy Bob's that was on like 3rd or 4th? It was on the corner. I'm not even sure what it is now. That was where I got my first tattoo.
Wow.
Very long time
Did you point it at a book?
No, I knew what I wanted.
Okay.
But yeah, that place, it might be like a boot shop now.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't think I ever saw it as a tattoo shop, though.
I was young, though. That was like 18 years old, Cal.
Young Cal wanting it. Was that
first one?
Did you know that you wanted a tattoo when you were younger, though?
Oh, yeah. I think it was to kind of be the rebellious one in the family.
This many tattoos? Because, I mean, you have them pretty much up and down your arms, hands.
I was pretty solid on getting like multiple, so I think I was always open to the idea of like getting after it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say so.
Nice.
I was always probably it was gonna happen. I think it was inevitable.
What age do you think was the first time that you saw a person with a tattoo and then turned and said, "I'm gonna do"?
Oh
that?
man, that's a good question. Because then the question is, how long have you been listening to punk rock music? So now we're down another road.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. It's been a long time.
Like bad tattoos.
Yeah, right. That maybe 10 years old.
Yeah.
I listened to some punk music, old MXPX, and was like, man, those guys are cool.
And Mike has some good tattoos.
He does actually, yeah. So maybe that's what it was.
Probably. I can look back on I think Rancid. Lars from Rancid. I used to see him and and be like, yeah, like I kind of like that.
I know. And then I did the lip ring thing. That was the Blink 182. Oh, no, I did it too. You still got yours. I wish I could still do it.
I think I'm just gonna go until my kid rips them out.
Dude, I did an eyebrow ring. If we want to, for telling stories.
I did too. But I did the
nice
safety pin.
Yes.
My
mom cried. Literally to my face.
As I think all parents do. They're like, dang it, why is my kid?
So that road went from we met, both had tattoos, to punk rock, and we always go that way.
Yeah,
I love that though.
What's awesome is that you enjoy all styles of punk rock.
I do,
and I do too. But I will say that I generally tend to listen to the poppy punk a little bit more as I've gotten older, and so I
same here.
Appreciate that you and me have that because not all my punk friends appreciate the poppy punk.
Very true. Very true. It's a fine line, but I'm with you. I like the poppy stuff. I do, man. I'm not afraid of it. But then I listen to metal the whole drive here.
Well, I mean, I think that, but again, that falls into that category of like tattoos and all the.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that once you go down the route of punk, then you end up in metal, then you end up in some sort of screamo, then you end up in
everything that branched off of that.
Yeah. Well, and then everything that started it, you just kind of go, like go through these like cycles.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I never.
That's what's fun about it, I guess.
Saw myself marrying a girl that liked Tool, and Berkeley's a giant Tool fan, and.
Found a good one.
Then we turn around and we're listening
That's a good wife.
4 Years Strong in the living room at 4 a.m. with a Bevvy in our hands, and we're just like cracking up about young like tattoos.
Young Phil.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Young Phil was amazing. Speaking of MXPX. The cover album, what was it on the cover? I believe it was.
I think so.
Their very first one. It was like Summer '69 was on there.
Okay. Yeah. Gosh, that's been a long time since I listened to that one.
That one used to play on repeat at me and my best friend's house. And still to this day, like if they because Mike does those like little sessions that I'll send you to on Instagram, right?
In his bed,
in his house or whatever,
the little bonus roomy thing or whatever.
I always send those to my best friend too. And he's like, dude, I was listening to that and just. I miss you.
That's so good. Yeah, right. What was the record that was it Let It Be was the record name? They had like 32 songs on it.
Oh gosh.
Red cover, guy had, the little dude had a skateboard. Anyways, that was the first CD I ever bought.
Really?
Ever. Okay. I was probably 10 or 11 at that point when it came out.
All right.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, I think I'm a few years older than you. So I was definitely like, there was a couple more before that really, I was like, okay, this is a good band. Well, see, No Effects was probably my, I don't know, it's hard to say. Green Day was probably the first punk band that I was like, okay. This is a new style of music I've never heard before.
I actually watched their Woodstock performance.
Amazing.
It's crazy. All the like mud they're throwing.
1994.
And he just never stops playing.
I told Berkeley about that one day. She goes, what?
It's fascinating to watch.
Pull it up right now.
Right.
I said, they get into a mud fight.
It's very punk rock.
She said, mud fight? Yeah. I said, it's probably pee and poo in there, but...
There's all kinds of stuff, I'm sure. I don't want to know.
And it all stemmed because, like, I think we had stumbled upon the Limp Bizkit 1999. I mean, it was like, you go down those rabbit holes of, like, old bands, and you're like, man, I remember where I was. I remember, like, watching that and being like, I want to be there. I want to get into music for that reason. Then you like talk to some of these old roadies and they were there and you're like, oh my gosh, how was it? They're like, horrible. Never wanted to be there. Like,
it was awful.
Why the hell would you want to? Don't even bring that up. And you're like, my bad.
Yeah.
The whole time, like, I'm still inside, like, so jealous that you're there.
Well, and how amazing to like do a show that is like epically talked about 25 years later, like, it's pretty cool.
maybe even. I mean,
it will go on. Yeah.
That's the crazy part. I think about it
tell
sometimes.
Mav about it.
Yeah, like I think about like turning to my kids sometimes. Like we'll be in the car driving. I'm like, man, this is gonna be a classic one day.
Right.
And my kids are gonna be like, turn this stuff off. This is horrible, Dad. Do you still listen to this? Like, hey, calm down back there. Operation Ivy is the most amazing band in the world.
Operation Ivy, that's amazing.
Well, and again, the laundry list of these like, and again, I'm not even like, let's just go the deepest punk rock fan, but I can look back and think The Clash was the very first punk rock album I think I ever owned, and I was given it to, or my uncle gave it to me for Christmas, and I was like, who the F is The Clash? Yeah, like, what kind of old junk is this?
Right. And then it started to click.
Then it's like, oh wow, okay. And then you're like, yeah, years later, then I got a chance to tour with Green Day, and it's like you're watching them perform, and then you see like an old performance of like The Clash or something, and you're like, just the energy of these bands are like,
it's amazing.
But it goes down to it. I got lucky to tour with Green Day, someone who is amazing to tour with for one, but not all bands you like you want to work for, you know. So.
Very true. Very true. That's always a scary moment, like scary thing to be like, oh, are they cool? It's like that question, are they cool? Are they cool?
How are they? Like, again, I can't believe you're bringing that up. That was the worst day of my life. You're like, dang it. Well, speaking of, not the worst day of our life, but we've been hungover on tour before. But
very true.
I know there's something in here.
There is something in here.
Today's been one of those days for me where I need something, so I'm going to go into this early.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right.
I think once you see what's in there, early is good to get started.
All right. I'm kind of nervous now. Like, I'm going to go to bed early?
Maybe.
OMG. This is the champagne of
Look at
beers.
That wow. It's very large.
You know what we do at the end of the show, right? We bottoms ups.
I forgot about that. You had mentioned, and then my eyes lit up when I saw these, and then you reminded me when I got here. But that's okay.
Hey, good thing we're starting early.
Yeah.
I hope you don't have anything to do for a minute.
Right.
There might actually be a first-time pee break in this episode.
That's a valid point.
Cheers.
Bing. I mean,
wow.
They don't make a koozie that big.
No, they do, but it's only sold in Alabama. Or maybe Buc-ee's in Texas. Wow, that is really good. Okay, so
champagne for a reason.
Why is it? Because I like champagne? Is that why you bought this?
So, when I was in college, I went to college at Western Kentucky University.
Okay.
So on the weekend, it was like, okay, dinner, beer. How am I going to make all this work with the money I have? I was playing soccer, so I wasn't working. So I only had a certain amount to work with. So what I would do.
And you got paid to play soccer in college? Isn't that illegal?
That is illegal, sir. So what I would do is walk across the street to the gas station from the soccer house that had like 6 guys living in it. And Miller High Life, this beer specifically, was $4.99 a 6-pack. And they don't have sales tax on beer up there. So they would offer a penny back and keep it. But $5,
dude,
for a 6-pack of beer.
That's amazing. And was this like just did you finish all 6 in one night, or did you kind of take it?
It depended on kind of how Well, what we were getting into, that was a long time ago now. I do that now, I'll fall asleep. So I didn't mean for these to be this big. I thought we were just going for a 24 ounce when I walked into the gas station. I was like, man, I got this plan. Yeah. I'm excited to be here. And then it was 32 ounces.
I think this is just 8 more ounces of enjoyment then.
That's true.
Wait, did I do the math right? Yeah, 8 more
for $4. So still under $1 a beer. We're really getting after it here.
Perfect. This has definitely been a beer that I've had my entire life, and I think it was because like you see it and you're like, I don't know about it, but it's cheap. I'm gonna go in.
I know. And it's kind of classic looking. It's got a very classy kind of.
But it tastes great.
My dad used to drink this. That's where I first saw it. I was like, man, that looks like a
glass bottle.
That looks like a man's beer, you know?
Yeah, there's something very
so cheap.
Yeah, like you watching your dad walk in with like a Smirnoff Ice just doesn't have the same like appeal as like a little boy watching his dad walk in like a Budweiser or Miller High Life.
If he was building our back deck with a Smirnoff Ice, I'd been really pissed. I'm glad he was drinking a Miller High Life and building the deck, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Like,
a lot more encouraging for myself.
I mean, I've never built a deck with a Smirnoff Ice, so I'm sure that like I would get it done, but I would feel a little more like the Shawshank Redemption on the roof, after like tarring it. Like, I'm sitting in the sun now on my deck.
Oh my gosh.
Well, dude, this is awesome. Thank you for picking,
bro.
Western. So, Western Kentucky is
Western Kentucky.
I don't even know if I've ever.
It's in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is not really necessarily in the western part of the state. It's definitely in the southern part of the state.
That's where
it's always been called
Corvette Museum's at, right?
Correct. That is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. You know they had a sinkhole there one time and some Corvettes fell through it?
Yeah, my dad is a car. I'll say nut.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
He loves all cars, and so when he came to visit me, I don't think he really came to visit me. I think he came to visit me so I could take him to the Corvette Museum so he could look at, gorgeous cars. I think it's like his strip club.
Just the place that he
like he doesn't go to strip clubs, but I think he I'm gonna go to a car show, and that's his.
Good for him.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever you're into, man.
But the sinkhole's real.
It is real. That did happen,
and it's crazy.
That was crazy.
It ate some really nice cars. Have you been to the museum?
I have not. I'm sad to say that, but yeah,
you should.
I need to.
I did not think that it would be as cool as it was.
Okay.
I've gone twice now because my dad is,
nice.
Like I said,
such a nut.
He doesn't come to visit me. He comes to visit the new exhibition, or not exhibition? Exhibition, yeah. The new
exposition.
These are already hitting me.
Those 5 ounces.
All right, Western Kentucky. Bowling Green.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never been there, but how'd you like it?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed college. It was fun. I wanted to play soccer so bad in college. That was just like a dream of mine. So
tattoos, soccer,
and music was just kind of the three. Like music and soccer were the only things I really cared about growing up. Skateboarding, yes, but those were the other things I was good at, was music and soccer. So Western Kentucky, played soccer there. I actually played at Lipscomb in Nashville and then transferred up.
Oh, wow.
So technically did that situation.
That's like a very David Beckham thing too. Like not like but I don't know. He was like in that music scene too, right? Great at soccer, really good tattoos.
Yeah, true.
Was he one of your idols growing up? Just
I thought he was really cool. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to not say. Yeah,
but, I feel like
he
sometimes gets put into that class like, oh, if you like Beckham, then F off kind of thing. But
is that like I don't know. That I thought he was awesome. Yeah. He was a badass, man. He made his mark in England and did his thing, and
so growing up, you're watching soccer. Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah,
play.
I just wanted to play. That's so bad.
So Lipscomb
transferred over, and there's a story in there about fitness stuff, but transferred over to Western, played there for 3 years, loved it, studied art, toured during the summers when I was not in school or soccer, and then would go back and do the soccer thing. So
that's awesome.
That's kind of how that all happened. But yeah, that was in Kentucky. I liked it though. I mean, it was kind of like a fraternity, but it was like the soccer team.
Was Western Kentucky known for having a really good soccer team in the States?
They were average.
Okay.
I mean, 8-8 kind of stuff. Like 8-8 record. Like
Yeah, what division was
like
it?
Creighton, Evansville, stuff like that. It was D1, but it was the OVC, I believe, back then.
Yeah.
Or actually, it was the Sun Belt, I think, back then. They change, how all that stuff.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a men's program anymore, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate.
But
I think soccer in the States, it's always weird. I think it's gotten more popular over the years, so now you see more kids just involved in it, like from early all the way through. But like, I grew up with one kid, and I felt like he was the only person in my town that knew about soccer.
Yeah, fair enough.
Even though there was probably like 100 others.
Right.
I only ever heard him talk of it, and he played it with other people. I would assume.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there was a league.
Yeah, it's interesting to have grown up here.
Yeah.
And see soccer from me as a kid and how it's grown through the years, because we didn't have clubs and stuff here, club soccer. We just had rec soccer, blah blah blah. My dad started one of the clubs in town when we were a kid, so he was actually a pretty vital part of like getting youth soccer to like next level, so I think his competitive nature with mine was also how I just wanted to keep growing in the game, like I just wanted to be the best. That's what I care about.
And again, since there's not really since MLS at the time probably too wasn't ginormous.
Yeah.
Who
Like,
would
what
you have,
drove me?
Yeah, like who would you have looked at? Like if on like because
Yeah.
soccer's usually what, Saturday mornings?
Yeah,
Right?
man. What's funny is like, so it was hard to watch Saturday morning games because we always had tournaments on the weekends, right? So
Yeah.
like, technically, I didn't get to see a lot of like EPL growing up and stuff like that, English Premier League, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, dude, to be honest with you, I know it sounds crazy, but I mean, Michael Jordan, Brett Favre, those were the guys that I actually looked up to just as athletes.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like a soccer player, but just their approach to the game when I was a kid was how I wanted to approach the game.
And so just to clear it up for all of our fans.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I have like 10 fans.
But it's growing.
Dude, hey, you got to start somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Packer fan, right?
This is true. Sorry, I'm sipping this big old beer.
No, I think you're gonna have to do
Green
more
Bay
than. I think
Packer
you're gonna have
fan.
to
Yes,
do
sir.
more than sip. You're gonna have to, I think, take some big swallows.
I'll do that.
Packer fan.
Yes.
So that's where the
correct.
Favre comes.
Born Northside Chicago. My dad, his dad, born in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Brett Favre was.
That's
I just
important.
remember being like 9 years old. My dad was like, "You gotta watch this guy play."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "He's so exciting." And then when I was 10, he won the Super Bowl. I remember watching that. And the rest is history. And Michael, in the 90s. So
Michael
being a kid.
Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
I've heard of him. He's
so
okay.
Yeah. So that was cool. Just watching him do what he did,
Have you've played maybe we did the Chicago I know we've done Chicago amphitheater, the
Tinley Park
together, but
correct.
Did you and me do the arena?
I did not get to do the United
You did
Center.
not do the United Center.
No, sir.
That is one of those iconic venues. It's like a Madison Square Garden. You walk in and you're like, the dude was here.
Cool.
His feet walked across probably a few of these places.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sitting on the toilet that he sat on. And I say that because everybody has to do certain things, but when you start thinking about like awesome things like that, you're like, Michael Jordan.
I know, dude.
Might have sat on this commode.
I got to see him play one time.
I got to shower.
My
in there.
dad took me to a game there.
That's amazing.
It was cool.
So you have been
So
there.
I'm sorry, I've been there. I
haven't.
Not as an adult doing work or seeing like
but even
a sports
cooler.
game. When I was a kid, I got to see him. That was cool.
That's even cooler because like, again, as roadies, we get to go to these iconic venues some days, and we get to like step foot or sit on the commodes that these guys got to sit on. But we don't get to see them all the time. We just get to like hear about them or be like, oh wow, there's their banner, or their retired jersey up in the rafters and stuff like that. But
so I didn't have a soccer player that like. I mean, Beckham was cool when we were kids. I mean, if anybody, probably him. I mean,
just because his name was
watched and
worldwide. Pele, obviously,
right.
Even me not growing up in soccer, I could name a few of them.
Right. And you learned about Pele and Maradona and like all those guys. I mean, you learned about that stuff. So that was cool.
Yeah. So Saturday mornings you're playing. You're just
usually we had games, man.
Getting out there as a young Cal.
Dude, it was
You're out there. Were you a striker?
I was
midfielder?
A center defender.
Let's go through. So there's 11 people, right?
11 people on the field. Yes.
Because I'm still
goalie and then 10 more.
My 9th year of liking soccer.
Copy.
Like professional soccer, I guess you would say. So I'm still learning.
That was another thing we've connected on.
100%. Yeah. I mean, that was
seen games together.
We even. One.
A Nashville soccer game,
We had tickets together for over a couple of years, and I think we managed one game.
Right. I know. Busy lives, man.
But we'll come back to that because, again, Nashville's growing.
Correct.
And part of that is the soccer thing.
Yeah, so it was cool.
You had a big, well, maybe not you personally had a part of it, but being part of people who love soccer, you're going to be the people that drive it.
It was really neat just to finally get an MLS team here was special for me, just being a kid that played soccer here my whole life. I mean, it was just cool. It was like, man, I didn't get to that level. I wasn't good enough necessarily, but to have that all grow in this city was really kind of neat. I mean,
and so you moved here what year?
When I was like a year and a half, so 1987.
Oh, so you just were up in...
I just went to Kentucky for college.
No, I meant Chicago.
Oh, yeah, I was only there for like a year and a half.
Yeah. But that's where you're
that's
from.
That's like roots, so that's how the whole Packers thing came in. But came down here, dad's job, and then grew up here and just, played sports growing up and
So 11
played
people.
in punk rock bands. And,
11 people on the field.
11
Little
people.
Cal's out in the middle field,
Out in the middle,
daydreaming
center
of
back.
getting tattooed and playing punk rock
Oh
music.
yeah,
But still just killing it. Just
trying
running.
to, man.
Were you always
I was fortunate to be good in my town and in my school, and I liked being a captain, and it was all that was important to me.
Yeah,
So,
that comes with a lot of
I felt responsible.
well, you want to win.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think
And I
that
felt
that's where
responsible
those-
for my teammates in a sense.
Well, that's
and
what
not that I.
Brett Favre, Michael
Yeah, and it
Jordan.
wasn't that you felt better. You just felt like I wanted to be a leader. I just wanted to be a leader to help the team be the best it could be. I mean, that's just how it was. That's the only thing I ever knew. But
and did you hold like a scoring record or
no, being a defender, I didn't score a ton. But
Oh,
when
yeah,
I
true.
did,
Yeah,
it was
I
great.
guess, yeah,
I
defenders
was
don't
very good in
really-
the air. I could jump really high. So I was good at heading and stuff. So I'd go up on corner kicks and I'd score most of my goals that way.
Because that's when all the defenders really get a chance to make a
Yeah.
goal for the team.
Yeah.
Unless you just can.
I would have, let's say we played 16 games in a season. I'd
Mhm.
probably have 5 goals
That's not
as
bad.
a defender.
I mean,
Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I still remember the Simpsons episode
Not bad.
where they're watching Pele play and it's just going in a triangle. And Homer's so mad because no one's scoring. And so
It just keeps moving this.
and sometimes I feel
Yeah.
like that's what I'm watching on TV. I'm like,
Yeah. It's hard to
but
get.
to get 5 goals in
I know.
in that many games as a defender, that's not a bad.
No, it's not bad. Yeah. It's always hard for people, I think, to like if people haven't played soccer, I think it's hard to watch 90 minutes and understand it a little bit. But when you understand the philosophies and how much they are actually running, and then how that goes into your mental and physical abilities
Yeah.
and everything else, and then there's 11 guys on the field, you got to do it together.
Yeah.
How
many miles?
there's no
are they running?
timeouts. The center midfielders can run upwards of 8 miles a game.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Defenders, like where I was at, anywhere from like 5.5 to 6.5 was kind of average.
Yeah, and a lot of it's
6
sprinting
miles.
too.
Yeah, very walk, jog, sprint, walk, jog, sprint. Like walk,
Yeah.
jog, sprint, jog, walk, jog. You know what I mean? Like just
Was that a punk song that you were
intervals.
going into?
Maybe, man. I just wrote one.
Yeah.
Good thing we got this thing recording.
Oh yeah, we'll save this for this. That's the new
Yeah,
intro.
yeah.
I've been looking for an intro song. I wrote
There you
something
go.
super horrible, so maybe we could take a walk, jog, run.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, man. Soccer was the jam. I loved it.
All right. Do you still go out and kick? I mean, I'll say this. I have a lot of friends that say they work out.
Mm-hmm.
You truly work out. I would say almost every day, or I see
every
your
week for sure.
Yeah, I see your post, and I'm like, you do the workouts that I think if more people did your workouts, they would enjoy being outside working out.
I appreciate that.
Because you look like you're doing like real athletic things that are kind of fun, like you're running through a park or you're in a park doing something that's like
Very functional.
yeah. So I feel like the soccer maybe that kind of gives you that little extra, like you can picture yourself out there doing some
Of
stuff.
course. I mean, the reason I got into fitness in general was when I was at Lipscomb. Like when I graduated high school, I weighed 153 and I was 5'10", so that was pretty slender as a soccer guy, as a center back, like going and play D1 soccer. And we played at Clemson, my first game ever. So I'm 18 years old at Clemson University. They were 5th in the country.
Just getting pushed around.
Oh, they kicked our butts, man. I mean, smoked us, right? So I was getting my butt kicked. I mean, just they could recruit guys from England, and they had like guys that were 6'1" and 200 pounds that could just move and muscle you around, right? So I went to the trainers and I was like, dude, because I just wanted to play in college. That was the only dreams I had. Like that and music were the only things I really cared about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, I'll do anything, and I'll listen to what you say, but just put me to work. Like I gotta gain weight. Like this is I can't go out there every week and have this happen.
Yeah.
You know. So they put me on this program in the spring. So the fall was what it was. I mean, we were running and playing so much, I wasn't going to be able to put on so much weight, really, playing one game a week and all the training that we did. So in the off season, they put 20 pounds on me in about 5 months.
Muscle.
Yes.
Holy cow.
I think when I was 19. So I was like 4.5% body fat.
Wow.
Something crazy. They had me have 4 meals a day, 2,000 calories. I mean, it was insane. I mean,
doing
after
all the
practice,
right
you had to, if you lost 6 pounds in water weight, you had to weigh back that tomorrow to be able to practice.
Oh.
I mean, it was very like strict. And so I just dove in head in. And so that's where I really learned all of my fitness stuff in general.
And you just kind of kept it in the back there.
Yeah, like just kind of kept it in the back of my head. And I think because I personally saw the results that I was specifically looking for and that I invested in.
Yeah.
I think that kind of proved to me that, hey man, like, you know, if you want to invest in this and feel that way and look that way or whatever the goal is, you can do it if you put your mind to it. I mean, it's there, especially with your physical body. I mean, like, you know, there's ways to get there and you know, whatever. So that was a big turning point for me. So then I was 175, whatever it is, and I don't think that changed my game.
I don't think I could picture you, but
I was little, dude. Little.
Yeah.
No tattoos, scrawny little dude.
You know what? No, you know what? I have seen one photo of you on a pitch running. It was it a white kit? Does that sound
probably
about familiar?
Yeah.
Maybe like yeah. I and you
probably club days.
I can't say that you looked small, but you definitely don't have the cut that you have right now. I think that's what a lot of people, you know, like I used to weigh 240.
I know that. You told me that one time.
When I show people photos, they're like, get the F out of here.
But you're another very good commitment story of what you wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like staying committed and, you know, being accountable to yourself.
I wanted to have girls like me again. I'm not going to lie. That was probably the first driving motivator was I was like, well, I can't tie my shoes and I'd really like to have a girlfriend again.
I'd really like to double knot this pair of Vans right now.
I can't even like these don't even have laces, and somehow I can't fit my foot into this thing.
And I don't mean to laugh about that on your expense. It's the you know,
look,
the joke of the joke.
No, 100, and it's not laughing at an expense. It's just like how many people say they want to put on a little bit of muscle.
Right.
It does take some. It takes you putting in a little dedication, like anything. You know, like you have to start day one. And you really just have to go in and be like, okay, if I'm going to put on 10 pounds of muscle, I don't know how, so I'm going to go look for someone who does, right? I mean, it's like anything, like your soccer you're talking about.
I was very thankful for what those guys did, and I, you know, it worked out for me in the soccer aspect. I went to Western, and I had a better physical approach to the game. It didn't probably work out the way I wanted it to, playing wise, and being there and being able to compete, you know, like compete and provide to the team that I thought I could. But that's a different story. But to play a college sport was really cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it was.
I think to be in that atmosphere kind of sets you up for life.
It's definitely where my fitness background came from. I mean that, and I wanted to coach. That's where my coaching, being a captain and all that. That was always like the thing. I always thought I'd be a better coach than a player, and I probably was a better coach than a player, probably. But, you know.
Yep, sorry.
They got to get after them.
There's a lot of beer in here. So what was your major in college? Because you said you were focused on, obviously, playing.
I was doing everything.
Fitness.
I was a graphic designer in college. That's what I studied.
Really?
Yeah, graphic design.
Wow.
I started doing engineering. I know, dude. Polar opposite.
Left field. I almost dropped the F-bomb there. I was whoa. Like, I'm going to have to put a kitty meow in there.
Man, at 18, I don't know that I really knew what I wanted to do. I think there was things that I was like super... Buck almost got me on this beautiful porch you got here.
There's been a couple bees.
Yeah, I know, right? I knew like things I was invested in.
Yeah.
I knew what I liked, but I didn't know like, I want to study this. So like engineering, I did some like AutoCAD work in high school. We had cool little programs. So I just kind of fell into it, then quickly realized how much I hated doing math and that I actually, even with the effort, was just not very good at it. Even with trying and just like getting tutors and just wasn't in the blood, man. Didn't have it, you know? So I didn't want to do math the rest of my life.
That's a hard one.
And then I was like, man, I want to design record covers.
Oh.
I wanted to do that when I was a little kid, though.
Oh. What's your favorite record cover?
That's a really good question that I don't think I have an answer for.
Think back to Little Cow.
I mean, all the like all the like Pink Floyd ones and stuff were all super cool.
Okay.
I
Mine was
mean-
Ugly Kid Joe, probably.
Okay.
With the little Statue of Liberty guy flipping off America. So rancid,
That's
but
so good.
I mean, so Ugly Kid Joe. But
yeah.
all right. Well,
I-
if you
it
think
makes me
about if you think about it before
Yeah,
the end of the
no,
show,
it makes me like all those. It makes me think of like all those David Bowies and like like I start thinking about all
Ooh,
those.
Yeah.
That's a wormhole to go down and find cool record covers.
And
Man.
they are. I mean,
They're great.
Some-
But that went out the wheelhouse. Like that went out of the world, right? When everything went
what
digital.
about Metallica's
So,
Black?
Yeah, dude. For real though.
But it has that little snake at the bottom.
there's
I mean,
something- yeah.
there's like all these little things.
Little things. So, anyways,
Okay.
I did graphic design though.
Alright.
I wanted to. I was like, man, I could get into this. I could do logos for people. I was into that, and like
Mhm.
sports logos and brands and how people branded their teams and whatever clothing lines, all that stuff. I was super into it. I thought it was cool because I always thought merch was cool. I always thought merch for bands was badass. It was like, man, when we get to the venue,
Yeah.
let's go check out the merch, bro. Like let's go look at it.
Yeah.
I still do that.
Which is
Got 2 shirts this month
very,
at punk shows.
which is very handy for the band.
right.
You're
exactly.
you're a very helpful
Right.
person to that.
So graphic design, man. And then, yeah, when I graduated, though, I went on tour. Couldn't find a graphic design job.
That's a hard one. Now,
was
do
tough.
you remember, like in my school, we had a bunch of punk rock bands. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and again, we're not far off from each other. I think we're
Mm.
just a few years. But
Yeah.
there was a whole scene, and they would design their own little flyers.
Yeah,
like,
right.
4
Yeah.
by 6 cards or whatever, and it'd have like a punk drawing on it.
Mhm.
And Did you have a lot of those in high school?
Yeah, when I had my punk band in high school, I was the guy that like
Drew
did,
'em and
yeah, so
stuff.
I think that was kind of where it started too. It's like,
Okay.
oh, dude, I like it. Like,
'Cause there was
I'll
something
design a little
special about
poster.
that, yeah.
right. Because you wanted that to be cool, right? You
I had
might
a
collect
collection of
those.
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
I had
exactly.
definitely a collection of.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have them to this day, which is kind of fortunate because
right.
probably
But
some
yeah,
really
they were all
good
the
ones.
little black and white flyer things, right?
Mhm.
Those were cool, man.
The ones that could figure out how to throw a little color in there. I always thought
And
were
see,
like,
that's pre-social media.
yeah,
Banners and sponsors
Yeah.
and stories and blah, blah, blah. This was like, yeah.
that was banners,
Yeah.
stories, and yeah.
And see, I think that was some of the stuff. Was like for me, that was cool. So I think that's where some of the design aspect
Okay.
actually probably got ingrained in me.
yeah,
I was like, man, this is cool. Like this,
yeah.
I did that. Or whatever,
I remember
you know?
there was a guy, Tony. I'm pretty sure that was his name, but he was a gutter punk, and he had a jacket with all the, punk rock,
Mhm.
self-drawn on. Like,
Oh, that's cool.
like white T-shirt cut, but he had like Sharpied on
Okay.
a logo and then sewn it onto a jacket. And I always just thought that was like one of those cool things. Now I
great.
see
Yeah.
like what's her name? Like one of those like famous stars, Madonna wearing
Mhm.
something similar to that, and they paid like $20 million
Oh,
for the
yeah.
jacket. So
Wild.
I think that
It's cool.
I've seen your stuff before. You have great. I mean, I didn't even put it together when I saw like Southern Hustle.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that.
Thank you.
Like that didn't even cross my mind that
I appreciate
you went and had that background.
Yeah. I think that was always another thing for me was like I wanted to start a clothing line at some point. I think I actually, to be brutally honest with you, I started Southern Hustle in 2017. Probably I graduated college in 2009. I would say from 2012 to 2017, like I had this passion to want to start a little clothing brand, and just as like a mere like artistic passion.
Yeah.
Love it, and it's always a great way to connect with people, right? Like
100%.
you always went to the merch. You know how many people walk by the merch table and like you meet, right? So to me, it was like, man, you can meet all these people. They can sell stuff that they think is cool, whatever. So I probably designed. Gosh, I'm trying to think. I probably had 5 or 6 like full blown ideas,
Yeah.
like full blown brand ideas.
Wow.
Multiple files of designs and all this stuff that nobody's ever seen. I can show you sometime if you want to see them, but
Would love to.
I just it never felt right. Like the name never felt right, or like the design or something was always off. And then the Southern Hustle one came and it just kind of happened,
Yeah.
like it kind of clicked.
I
was
still
like,
have
oh,
all
man.
those shirts.
I know. I appreciate that. Thanks, man. So it just kind of worked, man. That one felt more me and more like really what it was about and what I was trying to accomplish, I think, with the design aspect of it. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, when I start some B&B merch, you'll definitely be someone that
Of course.
Do you like the tattooed B's and B's?
I love it.
All right.
I love it.
I-
I think design work's awesome.
Oh,
I think it's
thank you.
cool.
What's funny is I had a few different tattoo fonts.
Okay.
And BK walked in and she was like, "That's it right there."
Yeah.
And I was like, Wow, I never thought about doing a design with a tattoo with that, like,
It's cool. I like it.
All right.
I like it.
Well,
Simple's good,
I'll probably
man.
ask you some more questions now that I know that you have all
I'm
this.
not a whiz, but I've tried to put my foot in it a little bit.
I don't even think the big people are whizzes. I think that they just hire the right people around them. You know, it's like
just try.
You throw it out there and hope that someone's like that.
See what happens.
So, just real quick, is Southern Hustle? Are you done with it, or you just kind of have it on the back burner?
It's been a little bit on the back burner. You know, when the pandemic hit, it just felt like that. You know, I wanted to continue to plan to go to like festivals and stuff and be able to sell. Like, you know, I was able to go to 2018 Warped Tour, which for me was a very personal accomplishment.
Hell yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, man. So I like going
Atlanta,
to Warped Tour. Yeah, and I did Nashville too.
Oh yeah.
So going to Warped Tour as a kid and seeing punk bands and walking around and buying merch and the whole thing, you know, like it was super personally incredible for me to be able to do that. I was at a blast. I mean, it was like
that's so
cool. It was cloud nine for me to like be at Warped Tour, listening to the bands on stages right to left, and I'm selling T-shirts that I created. It was really cool little moment for me. It's not like the sheer reason of it was that, and it was so rewarding for me.
Yeah, sometimes breaking the bank isn't the rewarding part.
No, it was so cool. It was so cool. Talked to Kevin Lyman. That was cool. Yeah. You know, like talked to him and thanked him for like putting this Warped Tour on for as long as he has, you know, like, so
20 years at that point.
Yeah, man. So it was just a cool experience.
But think about all the cool brands that have come out of there.
Right. Everything.
Metal Militia.
Famous Stars and Straps. All of it.
At least all the ones that we really probably truly
dug, that we thought were cool, you know.
That I don't think I have any of them tattooed on me, but I wouldn't doubt it. Somewhere in there.
Right? I do have a Southern Hustle tattoo on my hand, but
no, but that's cool. I mean, that's your thing.
That was my thing. I had to.
Like, if Famous
it's not on the back burner,
wants
just
to pay me, I'll tattoo it on me.
I just didn't. I didn't feel personally like it was the right thing to do to be. During the pandemic, sell, you know, hey, everybody buy my shirt. It's the coolest thing in the world, man. Like, we all had a lot going on, and I had a lot going on personally, too. And so just kind of paused, I guess, as merely the situation.
Situational awareness is a big thing here. Like,
just didn't seem the right time
to be just blowing everybody up. Because then again, there was a lot of people doing that.
And we weren't going to gain or lose anything during that time.
If anything, you would have lost people that potentially would buy it later.
Right.
So just let it chill.
So, yeah, it's just been chilling in the back burner and developing more ideas as time goes on.
I was going to say, so you're still just kind of like throwing stuff in when you can.
Yeah, man. Nice. Every now and then things will pop up and it'll be a little sketch or a little design and whatever. So, I mean, I've got a lot of ideas in the head, but it's just a matter of kind of bringing it all back out. But, yeah, man, I mean, you know, it'll never go away. Yeah. That's never
I will say
that I stopped doing.
I loved the colors that I loved all the lightning bolts, the colors, the stars, the flags. I think you had a really good thing going, but I will say that when, going back to soccer, when the Nashville Soccer Club started up, you had those colors that they weren't exactly theirs, but I thought that it just was like that timing was really
kind of supporter
good.
Colors,
yeah. And in a town where, again, you're like, people see it, they're like, yo, that's a nice like
it was called the Hometown Collection.
That's right. I remember that now. Yeah.
We had this idea to like do a bunch of different cities and all this stuff. A little out there, but it was cool. It was fun to kind of like, with the Preds doing so well, if you remember in hockey those years, and then
Preds
people were all over the street and everything. I know, man. And then soccer, so I was like, man, this is kind of cool. You know, like everybody always liked to wear stuff that makes them feel good, but like they like wearing colors and stuff to support stuff, right? So I was like, this is gonna be kind of neat, but it worked out.
I have to say that being able to be a part of the soccer coming in with you, just like these little details, like they'll always be in my mind because it has been fun. We used to the one time that we went, we bought a jersey together.
We did,
I was actually gonna wear it, but I'm a little chubby right now, so like I went to squeeze into it, and I was like, well, today's not the day. So I didn't put it on, but I see it, and I'm like, you know, in a way I wish I had a connection to sports, I think, a little bit deeper at times, because I know that you're a giant Green Bay fan. You know, like I'm a half-ass, kind of Cowboy fan here and there. Like I'm a I
Fair
guess
enough.
it's just because I would like never grew up like just fully in, and I never played enough sports to be fully in. So like to me, it's like like I just talk a lot, so I'll be able to talk sports with anybody, but I'll just be like, yeah, cool. I like the Sandlot.
I like the special moments, man. Like the ones that like, because that's like the best reality TV to me is sports, right? So like,
Wow,
the
right?
special moments that you just can't like recreate or couldn't have written that'd go back forever. Like I love sports documentaries and all the, you know.
Yeah. What do you
It's
think about
just so
that Michael
natural.
one?
Oh, dude,
How many times have you watched it?
twice.
It's deep and good.
Yes, big fan of it. Big fan of it. It was really well done, I thought.
I thought it was. I mean, I couldn't wait for
Yeah,
them
it
to
was
come
pretty
out
cool.
as it was coming out.
Have you seen the Tiger one? Tiger Woods? Also pretty cool.
Ooh, no, I haven't.
Pretty interesting. Very interesting to learn about his backstory and stuff, and like his family and all that.
Sports is a whole different.
Crazy.
I mean, it's dedication at its highest level.
Yes.
I used to tell this one.
Definitely professional sports. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I used
And
to tell this
Olympians
one PA tech. I'd be like, "Look, there's the 1%, but then there's the 1% of the 1%ers, and those are those Michael Jordans, those Tigers, those
man.
you know."
So think about like how many people that play college sports play professional sports. It's 2%.
Insane.
2%. So then think of the 1%ers of the 2%. You know what I mean? Like the few guys that are the best we've ever seen or the best women we've ever seen in certain sport, whatever it is, you know, like it's incredible.
Yeah, and yeah, like I mean,
it's like musicians. I mean,
gymnasts.
it's like
think about these gymnasts. I mean, these girls are from a young age just destroying it. Destroying their bodies too. I'm sure in like ways, unfortunately. But I think that's like those like things with sports. So it's like you put your bodies to extremes so you can entertain the masses.
Yeah,
and I did
hear
your
passion for just
and your passion
being the best.
I think it's like you just have a generally inside of you just have fire.
Oh yeah,
and you just want it to come out like in the coolest ways. And I did hear someone refer to sports too again as like you mentioned a few seconds ago, the best reality TV.
Oh yeah,
because it is a drama sport. There's a lot of drama behind it because you invest so much as a fan.
Yeah,
and you're just like, all right, here's my new season.
You might like this. I'm watching Sunderland Till I Die right now. Have you seen it?
I've heard of it.
Love it.
On Netflix.
Netflix.
Yes.
It's on one of those streaming stations.
Another
very
English football is wild, right? So then I tell my buddy, I'm like, I ask him to be on this podcast. He's like, dude, I'd love to. And we start chit-chatting about stuff, and he goes, dude, you still watching Arsenal? And I was like, when I can. Like, now that we got rid of cable, I just kind of like watch it on my phone. He goes, dude, I have gotten into Dortmund of the German league.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, insane.
Oh, I bet.
Like, fans, like rabid, like dog fans.
Oh yeah, this Sunderland show. I mean, these fans, they're losing in this season, and like in this, it's like 2017. But anyways, it's pretty it's ruthless.
All right, I've definitely heard of it. I mean, again, I think they're
northeast England, so it's very almost Irish.
Yeah,
like, you know, like
rowdy.
I gotta put subtitles on because sometimes I can't understand them. I feel so bad about it. Like, man,
have you ever toured up there?
No, dude, I've never been to Europe on tour.
It's a different experience because you've been down to Australia and stuff like that. Yeah. Europe is probably some of my favorite touring.
Nice, yeah.
Eastern Europe is wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get up into like Ireland and like northern UK and stuff, and was it Notting Hill or whatever? I did a show outside show up there one time, but we were loading out of the theater, and I've never seen the most rowdy, like drunk 16-year-old girls in my life. Like I was like, their vulgar mouths turned me off. I was like, oh gosh. I was like, I gotta I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette over here. I'm terrified of that 16-year-old blonde girl.
What just happened.
Oh man! And then Cork. I played Cork, Ireland one time. Same thing. Just like rowdy, cool people though.
Yeah.
But yeah, whole different lifestyle over there. You should go. Definitely take a trip one time.
I want to really bad.
Where would you go in Europe if you could?
Oh man, so that's tough, honestly. Because I want to go to so many places. I think that's the thing. I like to see everything, even if it's for a day. It's like boom, boom. I probably bounce around, but I mean, Ireland would be cool just to see it. I want to go to a game over there in England really bad.
Oh my
soccer
gosh,
game. Yeah, just so bad. Just one game, just to do it. I would love to go to like the Netherlands and Switzerland and like some of that stuff just to see it. Just curious.
It's beautiful.
I would love to.
Swiss land is gorgeous.
Pretty cool.
Geneva is cool. You can be in the French and the Swiss at the same time.
That's cool.
A buddy of mine got to go to a Wolves game.
That's cool.
And then a couple of the guys came to our show the next day. They brought him a played-in jersey, and this is when they were like not in the Premier League. They were like in
Championship.
No, I think they were in like
League One.
Yeah, like down. But he said it was one of those just amazing games because they were just again. I think
it's a different vibe.
We don't see that kind of dedication here in the States too much. I think NFL,
a little
hockey,
but
it's not the same though.
That's that thing with that Sunderland. Like Sunderland, dude, it runs their town.
Yeah,
you know, like these people. That's it. They live and breathe it, and the town succeeds on it too. So it's.
You know what I've recently had? I toured with a guy and he got me into cricket.
Yes. Okay.
Dude, another one of those sports where I was like, what?
Is it hard to learn what the heck's going on?
There's a lot of beer drinking, so I was like, okay. Go on.
Yeah. Now what's next?
Like
we'll start there.
Well, I guess there's three. Again, anybody who's watching this that knows cricket, if I get this wrong, feel free to leave a rowdy comment. Or listening to this. I think there's 3 different types. There's like where they wear the white, where you're part of the country cricket. Okay. Then there's like more of a like maybe NFL style, like you're part of the city.
Okay.
Then there's like we're just gonna have fun and go out for a quick match of cricket. So they don't last like 4 days. There's like a couple hours.
See, that's where it gets confusing for me. It's like it can last days.
It can last days, and that's the big one.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, I had to say though, when he started explaining to me, I was like, all right, like
I could
it's
get into
fast.
This.
It seems like it's a pretty fast
that's cool.
and slow game at the same time.
Yeah.
A lot of scorekeeping, a lot of.
See, that's like soccer, fast and slow at the same time.
Yeah, and dangerous.
Yeah, not a lot of goals always, but
like
dangerous is right. I've had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, well, and that's, I mean, again, like you watch these, like soccer player, things, and some of them you're just like the most boring thing, and then all of a sudden they start fighting. Remember that when that one guy bit the dude?
Yeah.
Well,
Suarez.
Yeah, and then he ended up being like on the best Barcelona team in the world.
Oh, I know. That's so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Okay, so would you Messi or Ronaldo?
Oh. I was more of a Messi fan while it was all going on. I think I was a little more mesmerized by him during the heyday of it all. Like I know kind of now things have changed. They're kind of moving to different teams and then they're getting older and all that. But I mean, like from, that like 5, 6, 7 years when it was heavy, I was more of a Barcelona fan.
He's little and quick and smooth.
Yeah, it was just fascinating to watch. I mean,
yeah,
what he could do. Ronaldo was like, to me, more physically, he could physically take over. He was like the model body of like a soccer player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he had the height and the weight and the strength and the speed and he just felt like. Whereas like Messi was almost kind of like, dude, this little guy,
how did he get in there?
Right. And how did he wiggle through that thing and put it in the corner? Are you kidding me? Whereas like Cristiano, you kind of looked at him and was like, he should be doing this.
He's going to make it in there.
And then he blows your mind because he does it all the time. But like, I don't know. Maybe it was the physical stature, not reading a book by its cover, man. I didn't give Messi all the credit in the world in the beginning. But
I just always was amazed by his little feet work. His feet work.
Footwork.
His
footwork.
Feet work. I was always also amazed by how far Cristiano Ronaldo could fly through the air.
Yes.
And header the ball.
He's got pretty incredible physical attributes, if you would.
And see, this is
Have you seen his six pack?
So I'm gonna get written to by someone, and they'd be like, there's more players than that. And I'll be like, I know there's more players, but that just shows my ignorance. Like, I only know so much about sports because, like, again, like, I'd much rather watch all the sports and know a little bit so I could just, like, show up at any game and be like, okay, yeah, I
you
get
know
it.
about guys that transcended the game. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal.
And again, look, I like them. I like all the sports.
Right.
I like being physical. And I think it really does now stem from being at a chubby level to where, like, I see the appeal of going out there and just thrusting yourself into these, like, incredible things, whether it be, like, you personally just doing it for yourself or whether you're doing it for a team, like you said, like being a coach. Again, some of these great coaches, they're not out on the field, but they want it just as bad for their players and themselves and the fans. So
support us.
And it's true. Like, you have to be all of that. And so again, looking at sports, I love it. I love them all. But sometimes I'm like, I don't have the time to follow like all the different things and stuff. So I'm just gonna like. Yeah, I know Michael Tiger.
Yeah, Michael Tiger. Old Tiger Michael Farf.
Yeah, I know that guy. He can really pitch, kick, punt.
Old Peyton Brady, you know.
Oh, dude, Tom Brady.
Oh, bro.
Oh, dude, champion.
He'll
Love
be
that guy.
When he's 50.
I honestly, again, I've said this before on the show. I'm not a very starstruck person. I saw Peyton Manning one time at a show. A very private show, so I mean, it wasn't like it was him and then 30,000 people in front of me to him. It was like me and then him in a very small room, and I was like, it's Peyton Manning. He's in commercials. He's pretty funny. Like him and Brad Paisley make me laugh.
Yeah.
If I saw Tom Brady though, I think I'd be a little more starstruck. I think I'd be like, dang, that's.
I would too, I think.
He doesn't look like a goat, but that dude's a goat.
He looks like a goat. No shit. The only person I got starstruck was when I met Shaq. That was cool.
He's big.
I think that was part of the starstruck. Was like, he is that big. Yeah,
he is diesel.
It was unbelievable. And he's a very nice guy, which was cool.
Super nice.
But it was unbelievable to, like, I think the starstruckism was like, man, this guy's bigger than anybody I've ever seen in my life. You know?
Like, wow, you are tall.
Yeah, it was cool.
You have big hands.
Oh, dude.
Your feet are like you're
massive.
Just, like all.
Massive.
I
pretty cool.
Used to cook at Hooters.
Yeah, that's right. I remember you telling me that one time.
Every once in a while, the WNBA players would come in.
Very cool.
And the NBA. So we had the Spurs.
Oh yeah, okay.
And but both of them. I mean, I would just be. Not starstruck, but just be like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, and that was my first experience seeing a real professional NBA and WNBA basketball players.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, they are
massive
big
people, yeah.
in
it's
person.
Crazy.
Like, but not big. They're just physically just all around just
massive human beings.
And it was awesome though.
It's weird. Shaq was born like a normal size human though. He is not a normal size human.
Little 6 pound.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like 8 or something. I'd have to Google it, but
that's usually what kids are.
He was normal. It's not like he came out like 12 pounds and everybody was like, "Whoa,
that kid's gonna be huge.
He's gonna be a basketball player."
I mean, again, you just what'd they feed him? Steak at a young age?
Just ribeye, just throw it.
Dude, my imagination goes wild sometimes when I think about things like that. It's like, there is Shaq as a little kid.
Oh yeah,
and he was a little kid though,
right?
But no one pictures Shaq as a little kid.
No, and when he was a kid, no one pictured him being the biggest human on earth.
No, and then or Yao Ming and stuff like
weird.
that. Yeah, like and what's awesome though is I bet their parents like. They don't even say anything about how big they are. They just like have fun with them. Like, oh, I remember when Shaq was a kid.
Oh yeah,
giant poops.
His mom's tall though. She's like 6'2".
I've
seen her on like his little reality show.
Oh, he has a reality show?
Yeah, I think it's called. Dang it, what's it called? Something Shaq, like Shaq Time or Shaq Life. Shaq Life. I think that's what it's called.
Awesome.
It's silly, but it's very good. Like 22-minute entertainment. Because he's just a good dude.
He is a good, and
he just has a good energy about him. That's what I've always loved about him.
Yeah, I think that I can 100% agree that there's certain people, and he's definitely up there in the class. And again, I don't want to meet all these people.
No.
I could care less. Cool. I'd much rather just watch them from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I do meet him, I'm probably just gonna be like, oh, cool. But him though, yeah, like he's just big. So then I'd be like,
I'm making this chug at the end actually not as difficult getting after.
I'm like, I think here. So I gotta, all right. So we are coming up. I mean, we're about an hour in.
It's
right
always
now.
easy to talk with you.
I know. I have to. I miss you. I miss touring with you because we really did have a lot of. Honestly, this is the most I've learned about old Cal, like young Cal though.
Oh yeah.
And like that's pretty cool though. Because
I didn't think about that. We haven't really talked.
I think I started this show to dig deeper with my friends.
Yeah.
And to get to know people in a different.
Ooh, was that me?
That was me.
I did earlier and I laughed.
But get to know people better. And like I said, I think when we had talked about this, I was like, oh, I'd love to talk about like all your fitness stuff that you're doing. Because I know you're doing a whole lot of stuff. Like you've been, you got like your personal trainer stuff. But I didn't know all of this stuff, Cal. Like, this is really cool, dude.
Thanks, man.
And
I think that's what's so brilliant about this. Because, like, all of our friends all have very interesting lives, you know? Like,
really
we know a lot of cool people. So I think it's neat for you to be able to,
and that's the thing is, like, it's neat because not every one of us, like, has very, like, we might have similar likes. Like, yeah, we like punk rock music or we like tattoos. But then all of a sudden you go deeper and you're like, whoa, I didn't know that you went there and that you had this or you grew up here. Because I think that's what's the most interesting about people is we've gotten a little bit away from truly diving into our friendships and stuff like that. And hopefully, like, through this, like, look, I'm going to link your stuff up so that way, you know, like people, maybe someone's going through like something where they're like, man, I've never heard about someone being, you know, losing 100 pounds or I've never or I've always wanted to learn how to gain 20 pounds of muscle. That, again, that's a hard thing to do for some people because it really does take dedication.
Or I just need to learn how to move.
Or I just want to, like, hey, move. I just need a little motivation.
A lot of it's accountability and, you know, just sticking to, man, it makes you feel better. That's the reason I got super into it as an older adult, like out of college. It was just like, man, I just want to feel good. Like I beat up my body playing sports. I mean, beat it up. So now I'm in the world of like, how can I stay physically active and fit, but just feel good for the rest of my life? Like, how can I not maintain, but how can I make this body better and stronger so that I can physically live till as long as I can live, you know, and that's great. But so that I can go play catch with my son someday or whatever, you know what I mean? 100%. Like, so you can do whatever you want. I can go play golf. I love playing golf. I can play golf till I die, you know?
Stud, you.
Better work out, though, if I want to play golf.
What's your golf game like?
You know, it's not bad. I play with all our buddies all the time.
Top golf game or real golf?
No, real golf. It's not bad. I'm in the 80s. It's not bad. It's not bad. Every now and then I can string them together.
I think my dad would pay millions of dollars to be in the 80s.
Played a lot during the pandemic, man. A lot of pandemic golf.
That's awesome, though.
It was
just
fun.
Out there.
Yeah, man, it was fun. I mean, outside, walking with the bag on your back with your homies and just kind of talking and swinging the club. It was fun.
With nowhere to go, so you don't need a cart. You don't need a cart at that point.
It's fun because you're really just challenging yourself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a personal, physical challenge, which is fun for me.
Again,
you're not relying on anybody. It's kind of a cool game. That's what's fun about it. Yeah,
it's all you going out there.
You can only be mad at yourself.
Happy Gilmore, you like that movie?
Oh yeah, of course.
The more and more I get into being a dad, the more and more I just love Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah,
he is so
brilliant.
Quick little thing, I bought, I think like 5 pairs, like this. My favorite short company, just like, or they sell a bunch of stuff, but I had a pair of their shorts, and I was like, man, when they go on sale, I'm just gonna buy them all because like right now I didn't have like a whole lot of cash, so I didn't want to like just go and blow money. And they went on sale, and I bought them all because then I said, you know what? Adam Sandler is the smartest man in the world. His movies, if you watch him, he probably walked from his house to his car, got in it, drove to the set, or someone drove him. Got out, and he's in basketball shorts,
constantly.
Untied shoes, and a T-shirt.
Constantly.
Then someone had to be like, hey, today we have to shoot you in a suit. And he's like,
okay.
I guess. Let's make it fast.
But make sure my sweatpants or sweatpants shorts are still sitting there.
Do we have something that just slips on? Do we have like a slip suit?
Yes. It'll look good on the camera, right? You can edit
As
that.
a father, I told myself,
that's so funny.
He's my idol now.
He's pretty
Adam
baller.
Sandler is my
dad
idol.
That's so funny.
So, all right. So you're working out now. You've always been working out, but I want to touch on this just for a minute because I want to give people somewhere to go, like also
yeah.
at the end of this, like you got your personal trainer thing, right?
Yep.
Do you have a gym that you're attached to right now, or are you just doing it like solo?
I'm not attached to a gym, but I have a gym that I'm able to work out of.
Okay.
And so I have a location with full equipment and all that sort of stuff, which is great. So I have a little deal with them, and we work together, and it's awesome. So I can take my personal clients there, which is great.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Now, seeing that, like, I read an article the other day about a guy who had moved to New York.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to be a trainer up there.
Mm-hmm.
Panoramic hit. So he couldn't do anything, right? Like, everything was shut down.
Pandemic?
Yeah,
You said panoramic.
Panoramic, yeah. Panoramic.
You using all these other words. I love it.
I think that was one of my favorite.
Panasonic?
Someone said it one time, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm stealing this from you. This is hysterical." And it's not something I should laugh at. And it's not funny, but
No.
we have to. It's like anything. You eventually have to just like have a little bit of laughter in your life. And so panoramic is my little bit of laughter that I try to have with it.
I'm gonna start using that.
It's stupid, but
it's good.
know. Yeah, whatever.
I like it.
I'll probably get a couple.
I'm good at throwing us off.
Hey, no, I like it because it will always come back. So this dude, like, he moves to New York though, and they shut. Like, I mean,
oh yeah,
that's a lot. And to move there and then pay rent and then not have anything, hard, right? But he started a YouTube of him riding a bicycle in his house, and then got like this whole thing started. I was really impressed. I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. Do you ever think about like doing your own kind of like videos or some way to, get it out to the masses?
Yeah. So with touring being kind of my number one job in the sense of how it applies to my life, this being kind of my second endeavor to help continue to build as I go,
Yeah.
I hope to. I've done a lot of content on the back burner that is not out there, just to kind of try and get a lot filmed, and I've written out a ton of workouts. I mean, I have
that's the big one,
library of stuff to do for certain goals. So that's kind of the thing I've really been spending time building up.
Very cool.
And yeah, so kind of right now I'm in the aspect of like taking on personal clients and building all that sort of stuff up, so I can just kind of keep building the brand as it goes.
That's really smart. Can I ask this of you? Because and be honest.
Yeah.
If I'm, is it 80% diet, 20% working out, or is it a little bit different of a mixture? Because I read that one time, maybe in a Men's Health or something, and it really hit me because I was like, wow, never really thought about that. And they were talking about getting like a 6-pack, I think, at the time.
I mean, I'll go this route. Me being, I'm working on a nutrition kind of background right now. I won't be a dietitian, but I'm working on some nutrition knowledge and kind of like a little certificate stuff. Anyways, so without being able to really kind of provide like that sort of aspect of like meal plans and this and that.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'll just speak on this. Consistency with what I eat is really been the biggest thing for me.
Okay.
So like if I'm consistently training and I have found kind of the right ways to eat, and I eat a lot of different stuff. I mean, so like I'm always getting fruits and dairy and grains and the whole protein. Like I'm pretty well rounded.
Yeah.
And thankfully I haven't wanted to or needed to or whatever kind of focus down on one path, but I think it's really consistency. I think that's the thing. I think, there'll be days that like you need to eat breakfast, like people will be like, I'm not going to eat till 2 p.m. today. And then the next day they eat the biggest breakfast in the world. And then the day after that, it's like, I'm not going to eat. I'll eat pizza at 11 a.m. And then, you know what I mean? I think it's really consistency is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Then you can dive into like, what should I be eating?
Gotcha.
You get into the macros and all that sort
really
of stuff. And you can really hone in. But, man, first step for me would be to tell people is just find some consistency and, like, really what your diet is that makes you feel good. Mm-hmm. You should get up and feel pretty good, right? Like, and want to eat breakfast.
Yeah. I've had friends, too, that tried the vegan side, like, just because of health reasons.
Of course. And that's fine.
And it didn't work for them.
Yeah.
And so then they were like, I liked it. Yeah. But I just couldn't continue because it was making me like, I think like a lot of people have gut things too.
They do,
it's like,
absolutely.
And I have a buddy who can't do any meat. And so he's more vegetarian.
Yeah.
I think he can do like fish and stuff, but like red meat really hits him hard and stuff. So it's like, again, I think even if you wanted to go down some of those routes, you really just have to test it out and see if your consistency, what happens over a month.
Everybody's different, right? I mean, that's a big part of it too. Is like you can't just go, this is the right way to do things. So like
that has to be hard as a trainer, though, right?
It is. I
like
mean,
someone sees you and they're like, "Yo, I watched you just huff down a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a 2% milk," and you're like, "And you have a 6-pack? What the f?"
I mean, well, I mean, I don't know, but like the idea of like everybody, like when I was coaching and I had 20 girls on my soccer team that I was coaching, like I could treat all of them the same, right? I mean, everybody's, whether they're physical, whatever, whatever, everything was different for everybody or how they handled it. So it's really the same in personal training. I mean, one person might be able to commit to this, that, or that. Another person may not be able to, or they have this limitation or that or that. So it's a lot of it's, man,
being open.
It's a very good open accountability with other people too, and which I love that. I love the relationship part of it. It's super important for me. I mean, them succeeding is the whole idea, like
100%.
Feeling good, man, that's what it's all about, dude.
Well, and being a coach for, a team and then being a coach just on a one-on-one basis. I mean, like do you think of Michael, right? You're like, here's this great, but he has a shooting coach.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Well, because that guy is going to go in there and just dive into his shooting only.
Right.
Or dive into just technique of like, it's all good. Cough it out, buddy.
We were already chugging, I guess.
That's that millet. Look at this. Oh, there's a champagne on here. I didn't even.
Champagne got me. Sorry, guys.
Oh my gosh! I could have been holding it this way the whole time.
Am I the first person to choke on your podcast? I hope so.
Yeah, I'm gonna say BK got eaten by a spider.
Great content.
Yeah, you're the first to choke.
Okay, I'm back. I'm good to go. It's this can, dude.
Dude, this is this afternoon can of champagne. I mean, this has been pretty
nice.
This has been awesome.
I mean, you gotta get a little setup back here too, though, with the trees and the.
Yeah, so
when the sun comes down, so it's great.
And it's been fun because each episode I'm like, all right, so right now it's morning or afternoon or whatever. I really didn't go into depth, but yeah, it's like a really nice afternoon.
It's beautiful.
It's sunny.
This is awesome.
The trees bleed sap here. I've had this discussion before. They I think I have like a sap tree problem. I don't know. Oh, it's disgusting.
That's so good.
Like if you spend too much time out here, it's horrible. But oh yeah, like I have to wipe everything down when we're done. It's like a whole process.
Oh my gosh.
But
so funny.
I have to say this has been really. I have said this again on the show a few times, but we bought this house. I haven't spent a lot of time out here, so it's been really awesome to be actually out here with friends, though,
and just talk. Yeah,
it's
nice.
Enjoy. There wasn't too many wild animals today, but yesterday there was deer crazy. I mean, we had
I love it.
Well, I mean, I actually would love to have you on more because I think there's certain people that are going to come onto this show, I think, that have just so much to give to people about so many different other things. And I think cool. I'm just so into fitness though. I wake up every morning at 4:30.
I know you do.
And
you're good at that.
So I'm up to, I think I'm right under 500 push-ups a day.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It hurts. In under an hour, I think it's an hour and 20 minutes.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and it's not because I'm trying to get jacked or anything like that, but I also want to start something because I went through such a thing with my weight. I want to set my sons and daughters and whatever. I just want them to know that, look, so you might have a little extra on you,
right? Or
you might not have a little extra on you. But whatever you do, you can, if you want to, if you want to be a little hefty, cool,
perfect.
I love you, son.
Yeah.
But if I'd like to start you down the road to where that going outside and running and doing all those things, and being a little healthier, it just adds into the fact that look, let's be real. There's a lot of preservatives and stuff nowadays. There's a lot of it's hard to consistently eat
Correct.
great.
Yes,
and,
it is.
And
oh my gosh.
especially if you travel or if you're going to schools. And so, look, maybe you can offset some of that just by working out in the morning.
Yeah.
Because, look, I eat like poo. I'm not going to lie.
I don't eat great all the time.
Yeah. I definitely don't have a six-pack, and I definitely don't have, like, the best muscles in the world, but I at least every morning wake up and say, okay,
yeah,
I'm going to do it.
A lot of it's just being active, man. I always tell people, like, work out for you. Work out for you.
Yeah.
Work out for you. You're not doing it for anybody else. So if going on a walk for 20 minutes in the morning is your workout for the day because that makes you feel better. It's good meditation for you, whatever it is.
100%.
Awesome. You know?
Yeah.
If that's what it is. If you got hip problems and you're supposed to walk, that's what is the best thing for you. Perfect. You know?
Don't worry about the Instagram photo. Don't worry about the Facebook photo. It truly makes me feel better to know that, like, look, today Cal's coming over. He's bringing me a 32-ounce beer that's gonna hurt tomorrow, but I'm still gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm still gonna work out. And it's not for the photo. Like, go to my Instagram, go to any of my pages.
Right.
I don't have my shirt ripped off on any of them. It's not for that.
I think that's the hard thing for me to put out, like, content personally.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time with, and I had that hard time with Southern Hustle too, like being like, man, new drop this week. You know, like, I have a really hard time with that personally. Just being in front of the camera, you know, like it's a weird little, like, this is cool. Like, I like this and I like this little intimate, but like to sell myself.
It's hard.
It is difficult.
It is really the first.
And you're kind of in it. I mean, you're in it.
I never wanted to be.
It's tough.
It's tough. My Instagram was locked. All my socials used to be locked down. Now I have open ones for the podcast and stuff, but the first video, if you go to the YouTube and see it, it's horrible, and you can see how you can see how nervous I am.
This stuff's hard.
Yeah, and eventually you just have to get over the image and say, look, if I'm gonna put myself out there, if I'm gonna be authentic, then I have to be authentic, and I can't if I sneeze during it, or if I have I have a little or if I have like a sty on my eye that day, like, it is what it is. You know, people are gonna. We are humans. And some people like to attach, like, you have to be perfect with things, and it's not that way. It's just like, look, you can try your hardest to get to places, and you should. I think that it's a healthy thing, but at the same time, if you don't get there, then wake up the next day and try again. You may never get there, ever. You may. I wake up every day hoping that I'm gonna wake up with that six-pack.
Well, and but what I mean, like, what's the point of giving up hope on stuff if you know what I mean?
So just go out there and do it. Have fun doing it. And I've found that morning is my. It's like you said. It's not the walk. It's that, like, I'm by myself right now. Even though the push-ups suck, they suck. To this day, they're not getting easier. No matter how many I do. Right. But I'm there in the morning, and it gives me that, like, free time to be by myself.
Yeah,
think of things.
After all the college training, man, that's kind of how it became to me. It was like, how can I train so that, like, for me, my goals were, how can I train to stay strong, but my body feels good? Yeah. You know, like, how can I stay healthy? How can my body stay strong so that all the touring we do and whatever, that I'm not hurting all the time, right? Yeah. So, like, everybody's goals are different. So for me, that was specifically my goals. I mean, I used to beat my body up. Now let's try and, like, keep it strong and healthy. Cigarettes, no.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple here or there with a beer or whatever with some friends, but I'd say I've had literally 5 cigarettes or less in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's been
just wasn't really a thing.
That wasn't your thing.
Yeah, and maybe it was because, like, I grew up. My mom has smoked my whole life. And she grew up in a household that smoked as well.
So you just were...
Maybe it was just... Maybe it's skipping me or didn't want... That's a good one. Kind of was around. It was just like, not really my thing. I don't know.
It's just awesome. Like, I'm always, like, impressed when people that, like, you know... They're like, I just don't smoke or something. But I don't know why that, like, it just dawned on me. I was like, you know what? I've never seen you smoke.
I know. I never.
And that's a hard one for people that tour, too, because, again, it's like...
Because that's kind of a good moment for you, right? To go sit and have a cigarette and, like,
well, you want to be healthy, but then you're like, man, I smoked and drank way too much last night. And that was always, like, my hard part. It was like, because I could have a few beers and wake up the next day. It was the cigarettes that beat me up, dude.
For me, it's the after show food. I have to be very careful with the after show food. That's just a personal thing. Like, it's great for me to have it because I just exerted a lot of energy in a show and a load out and all that stuff. But I can't eat too much. I gotta be specific about, and I know you were specific about your after show, but, like, I had, it was more like the amount.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Man, at midnight after a show, like
1:30 in the morning, you walk in.
Pizza till 3 in the morning.
I've eaten a whole pizza at 3 in the morning.
Oh, I know.
All right, so we're wrapping up here, and I want to ask you a few more little things.
Yes.
What's the next tattoo?
You know, there's a guy that does some really good little work that I'm been talking with, and I'm working on a little skull thing in here I want to do, and a little Ted Lasso tattoo. He does the Believe tattoo, the little sticker that's above the door in Ted Lasso, the little sign.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Okay.
It's on the Orange Pluses.
Ah.
The Fruit Plus.
Fruit Plus.
Another streaming system.
I was so confused. I was trying to think. I was like, is this like
not dropping main brand names?
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
the fruit one.
The fruit
with the
one.
bite out of it.
Yeah, that one. But the plus, everything's a plus these days, so it's crazy. Anyways, great show. But that stuff. I need to finish up this arm a little bit.
You gonna finish him?
Yeah, like up in the shoulder. I need to get all that kind of
armpits.
No, I'm not gonna go that far. That's a little not like
neck.
That's a little crazy. Not neck. I've thought about thighs though. I've thought about getting down into
anything
there.
on your legs.
I would like to get down to my legs. I don't have anything currently.
Wow. Okay.
But I would like to go that route.
Buttocks.
No buttocks for me right now.
That's a painful one.
Almost did one on a drunken spring break once, but it didn't happen. So the story doesn't exist.
So what was your first tattoo again?
Something down in here. I don't know. In my inner arm.
It was on the arm.
I was listening. Yeah.
Mine was a tramp stamp.
Yes. That's quality.
I'm just the classiest of people. I finally started covering up some tattoos over the years.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't. I didn't want my little dude to see some of them. I was like, well, these were fun when I was 18.
Yeah, right.
Not so fun at 40.
Hey, wild times, dude.
Wild times. All right, dude. So I just have to say thank you so much for being on. I would love to actually have you on more, and maybe
I'd love to. This is so fun.
Look, we're I'm not sure where this is going. Like, this is a new thing for me. I'm just having fun having friends on and talking. So, I mean, we have many, many more years.
Can I ask you 3 rapid fire questions?
Hell yeah, go for it.
What's a podcast you listen to currently? If you listen to any.
You know what's crazy? Okay, so I'm going to name.
That's okay if you don't.
I listen to a bunch of different ones, actually. I listen to The Bible in a Day.
Okay.
Mainly because I never knew the Bible.
Yeah,
I just wanted to.
Absolutely.
So I started reading it because of a question that kind of came into my life, and I was like, you know what? I took on reading again. So
good for you.
I started reading it, but then all of a sudden someone threw that at me, and they're like, "Hey, you're reading it. Maybe you should just listen to it too and get maybe a little insight." So that one's big. I do the Joe Rogan every once in a while.
Right on.
Not every single one of them.
Yeah.
I did the Jordan Peterson for a while.
Okay.
Just because
smart guy.
He is, but he just I don't know. He says it so straightforward sometimes, like about making your bed. That I'm just that kind of person where I'm like, all right.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Okay.
Right on. You listen to Smartless? Love that one.
Smartless, no.
Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes.
I need to. I've been wanting to do the armchair one with Dak Shepard. So I just went to the podcast convention that was here. My friend Brittany hooked me up.
Yeah.
Because this is all new to me.
Right.
Again.
How was that?
It was amazing because I got to just dive into a lot of people. But seeing that this is still pretty new and just the aspect of me building it, I haven't actually even dove into a lot of those podcasts that I just named because my mornings are just
crazy.
Even though I get up at 4:30, all of a sudden it's like, it's 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So, okay, next question.
If you could interview anybody, who would it be? One person.
Ooh.
Dead or alive, doesn't matter.
Anthony Bourdain.
Fair enough. And then, do you believe in aliens?
No.
Okay, copy.
Maybe.
I know.
All
that stuff got declassified in the summer, you know?
Yeah, so I'm from El Paso, Texas, right? And so Roswell's not far from there. So
which they turned out that it was just a balloon, remember?
There's been so many sightings and stuff. I mean, it's a wild. I will say that the Joe Rogan episode where he had the pilot on.
Yeah. I've listened to part of that.
I will say I would not doubt that there are.
Yeah.
But I'm like show me.
Oh, I know.
Like,
I know.
until someone shows me, I'm like, But then again,
I'm fascinated by the talks of it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying yes or no personally.
Yeah.
It's more of like, huh.
Look, There's a high possibility that there's something else.
Yeah, right.
Only because like of I don't know. I'm not gonna say no, but I'm not gonna say yes
I know,
either.
I know,
It's
I know.
one of those things.
Anyways.
That was fun. Though.
Yeah. Hey, I enjoyed this, man. Thank you.
Dude, no,
A lot
thank
of
you.
fun.
This was
I love just
honestly-
talking with you, so it doesn't matter if it's
Well, I'm gonna tell you
a
this.
microphone and headphones.
I'm gonna invite you back out.
Okay.
Maybe not for a minute, but give you a little more time to
Yeah.
decompress from these giant 32 ounces. But
Right.
let's bottoms up.
Bottoms
I
up.
mean, I think you.
I got just a couple sips left. I was
you,
doing a better job.
I think you sneakily took more because you
I was
knew that
trying
this
to.
was coming.
When you said mid gulps, I took it to.
Oh, dude. All right, so I'm just gonna say thank you again
Yeah,
to
man.
anyone listening or watching or anything like that. I'm trying to make a fool of myself because I think I have a little extra than this.
That's okay.
But make sure and just go follow across everything. I'll link up some Cal stuff.
Killer.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we'll do
man.
this again, dude.
I
Hey,
appreciate it.
bottoms up.
Love it. Thank you. Ah,
Oh man,
champagne.
Miller-
Champagne.
Miller High Life.
Thanks
It
again,
is the
buddy.
champagne of beers.
Much love.
That burp's gonna be rough. Much love, dude.